SAIC's CAPX department, and I'll be your host today. I want to thank you for joining today's CAPX Talk session featuring Ha Eun Chang, a 2017 SAIC alumna and the CEO of the renowned Korean fashion brand OUWR, known for its modern interpretation of traditional Korean attire. Before we introduce our special guest speaker, Ha Eun, let's start by giving you a brief overview of today's event and discussing some important details. As you may have noticed, we are pleased to offer a live consecutive translation service provided by a professional translator, Lena Lee. Hi, Lena. If you encounter any issues, our fantastic CAPX team is also on site and ready to assist. I would like to highlight the CAPX mission and the purpose of this event. Please note that CAPX has a strong commitment to supporting SAIC students and alumni in their educational and professional journeys. This presentation serves as a testament to our continuous dedication. The CAPX Talks series, formerly known as Company Presentations, aims to connect SAIC with influential creative companies and organizations. This monthly career information session, conducted each fall and spring semester, offers valuable insights into current industry trends, inner workings of companies, tips for creating an impressive portfolio, effective career strategies, such as what candidates can expect, and the chance to explore exciting internship and job opportunities when available. Today's event will last for about 45 minutes, featuring a 20-minute presentation, followed by an engaging 20-minute Q&A session. Please note that we are recording the entire session for your reference. We kindly request that everyone keeps their audio muted until the Q&A session begins. We'll ask you to raise your hand, then we'll allow to unmute yourself, and our translator also be able to assist you. And you can also add your question to the chat box, and we'll be reading your questions for assistance. We also prioritize our students' interest and welcome any suggestions for future programming, so please share your feedback during a brief live survey at the end of this session. Thank you for listening to the introduction, and now let's give a warm welcome to Ha Eun Chang. Please take it away.
Hello, everyone. First of all, thank you so much for coming to this artist talk. Oh, do you hear it? Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for participating and coming into this Zoom artist talk. I really appreciate this. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to have a talk with you guys, and I really hope that my talk really helps for some of who are willing to make your own brand, or to do more like fashion part or fiber part of designing your experiences. So, okay. I think some of people don't hear.
Yeah, does everybody can hear Ha Eun really well? Somebody could say yes or no?
This is the interpreter speaking. Would you just give a thumbs up or just put in the chat box if you can hear? Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, looks like everybody can hear you, Ha Eun.
Okay, great. Yep. So we can start with our presentation. Yeonsu, teacher. Can you share the screen, the presentation screen, please? Yeah, and we can skip to the second page. So yeah, as you all know, my name is Ha Eun Chang. I'm the CEO and the General Director of OUWR. And I'm actually, alumni of SAIC class of 2019, not 2017. I majored in BFA Fiber and Materials Department. Yes, so just to briefly tell you guys about my story. So I actually entered SAIC as a fashion department student, but then during my freshman year, I studied fashion, but I kind of realized that I actually love fabrics, the elements of fashion, and the way of using the fabrics and materials that I design. So from then in my sophomore year, I started to explore different department classes such as designed objects and fashion courses that use different materials. And then I went to Central St. Martin's in London as an exchange student in fashion print major. So through those kind of years of exploring and learning the fashion and fabric world, I kind of decided to narrow my major to textile design rather than fashion design in SAIC, rest of my SAIC years. So from then I started to take a lot of classes in fiber and materials department classes. So these kind of various experiences I've explored made me a multi-entertained designer, I guess, who likes and loves to explore and combine different areas of fashion and design world. So I think pretty much what I learned from SAIC was learning very different sources from a lot of different departments, a lot of different courses. And that kind of made me to grow up more like a person who experienced a lot, like not only in fashion, not only in designed objects, not only in fiber classes, but I learned from different classes and then I mixed those kind of learning process that I learned and I experienced from the courses that I took. So I really like ask and encourage people to like hop and like take a lot of different courses through the SAIC years. So today I would like to share some of my experiences and works from OUWR and also talk about how we can build and develop our own brand or a startup brand like me. And from now on, I'm gonna speak in Korean for more full and precise my thoughts and opinions of like what I'm gonna talk from now. So please understand the language issue, but also feel free to ask any questions during the Q&A time because I can't understand English, but I'm gonna speak in Korean and English, like both of the languages. So yeah, please understand those kind of issues. So we can move on to the next page. 그러면 이제 지금부터는 한국어로 제가 스피크를 하려고 합니다.
So from now on, the presentation will be conducted by speaking Korean, and we're going to take turns and then provide consecutive interpretations.
OUWR는 일단 저희는 패턴 디자인 브랜드라고 저희를 소개를 하고 있어요. 저희는 전통 문양과 한복 그리고 다양한 한국적인 문화에서 영감을 받아서 작업을 하는 디자인 브랜드고요. 저희는 자체적으로 저희 브랜드 내부에서 이제 개발하는 현대적인 패턴 디자인을 활용해서 한복이나 클로징이나 그다음에 products 같은 것들을 디자인하고 제작하는 그런 일들을 하고 있습니다.
So first of all, OUWR is a pattern design brand that works with inspiration from traditional patterns and Hanbok. So we internally make our own design and produce Hanbok, clothing and products using modern pattern designs developed in-house. And that's our brand.
저희의 슬로건이 있는데요. 이제 첫 페이지 아마 보셨을 거예요. So our slogan is we introduce the value and the beauty of our culture in OUWR's way. 는 이제 우리 오우르가 우리 문화의 가치와 우리 문화의 아름다움을 이제 오우르만의 스타일로 소개합니다라는 그런 슬로건을 가지고 있어요. 그래서 저희는 전통 문화의 가치는 훼손하지 않되 독특한 재해석으로 이제 한국적인 것을 디자인하려고 하는 그런 브랜드고, 이런 슬로건을 저희가 잡게 된 이유는 좀 많은 현대인들이 일상생활 속에서 한국적인 문화와 우리나라의 전통 문화, 한복 같은 것들을 쉽게 경험하고 또 삶에 자연스럽게 녹아들였으면 좋겠는 그런 바람이 있어서 이런 목표를 가지고 오우르가 이제 활동을 하게 됐습니다.
You probably seen on the first page, but OUWR's slogan is "We introduce the value and the beauty of our culture in OUWR's way." And the idea of this slogan is that we do not want to damage or change the value of traditional culture, but we want to design our own with a unique reinterpretation, because we notice that more and more modern people are not experiencing our traditional and Korean culture in their daily lives. So we want to integrate that in a very natural way into their lives. So our goal is to bring that all in through our unique designs.
다음 페이지로 넘겨주시면
So next page.
이번 토크를 제가 좀 생각하면서 어떤 얘기를 하면 좋을까 많이 고민을 했었는데, 아무래도 제가 학교를 다니면서 제일 궁금했던 부분들에 대해서 그 졸업하고 그 이후에 제가 이제 경험했던 것들을 바탕으로 좀 얘기하면 좋을 것 같아서 그런 부분들을 같이 얘기를 해보려고 합니다.
So first of all, while I was preparing for this talk, I felt like I wanted to talk about some things I was always curious when I was at school, when I was in this wonderful school, and I was wondering, how do I build and develop my own brand? And also, this talk will be based on my own experience, hands-on experience, while I was building my brand, working with other entities. So it's going to be about that.
그래서 How to build and develop my own brand에 대해서 제가 첫 번째로 조금 얘기를 하고 싶은 부분 중에 하나는 나만의 유니크한 아이덴티티와 독창성, 그리고 우리 브랜드의 가치관을 정확하게 형성하는 게 되게 중요하다라는 거를 좀 많이 느꼈어요. 그래서 그 부분에 대해서 좀 얘기를 같이 하고 싶어요.
So first of all, you see, the first part of this talk is about how to build and develop my own brand. And the first thing that I'd like to talk about is that for me, establishing and identifying the brand unique identity and brand's unique value is extremely important. So I wanted to start my talk based on that.
다음 페이지로 넘겨주시면
Next page, please.
조금 더 example을 가지고 같이 얘기하면 좋을 것 같아서 저희 오우르가 현재까지 작업하는 패턴 디자인의 과정과 그다음에 컬렉션, 화보 컬렉션 같은 것들을 보면서 좀 더 얘기를 하려고 하는데
I think the visual aid and an example would help you better understand. So I'd like to talk about the pattern designs by OUWR and our actual collection design. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more.
저희는 이제 아까 말했던 것처럼 한국 전통에서 영감을 받기 때문에 요 샘플들을 제가 이제 레퍼런스로 보여드려요. 저희는 이렇게 한복 이렇게 국한된 어떤 분야에서만 영감을 받는 게 아니고 좀 되게 다양한 한국적인 것들에서부터 소스를 따와서 이제 디자인 작업을 하는데, 그게 한국의 건축물일 수도 있고 보시는 것처럼 기와의 모양이라던가 돌담의 길이라던가 아니면 기와장에 들어가는 문양이라던가 혹은 한복에 들어가는 자수 패턴이라든지 아니면 동양화나 한국적인 회화 같은 것들을 바탕해서 저희가 그런 것들에서 영감을 받아서 이제 작업을 많이 하고 있어요.
So as I mentioned, OUWR's designs are inspired by various Korean traditional things, and it could be architectures, it could be Korean drawings, the pattern of your knitting designs and everything else. We're not just inspired by the simple things like Hanbok design itself. It could be the eaves. Of the tile roof of the traditional architecture. It could be the one second. It could be I'm sorry, it's just architectures and other patterns of various different things that can inspire our OR's design.
다음 페이지를 넘겨주시면
Next page, please.
아까 봤던 그런 해당 레퍼런스를 활용해서 이제 저희가 어떻게 작업을 진행하는지를 보여드리는데
So
각
now you can see the references that I mentioned, and it explains that how we actually create the designs by these other references that I just mentioned.
각 한국적인 요소에서 저희가 살리고자 하는 것들은 살리고 그것들 좀 덜어낼 것들은 덜어내면서 사실 전통적인 것이 되게 디테일하고 섬세한 것들이 되게 많아요. 근데 그런 섬세한 것들 중에서도 되게 필요한 부분을 저희가 따고 그런 것들 좀 모던하고 기하학적 하는 작업들이 이제 오우르가 가지고 있는 어떤 특징 중에 하나라고 이제 말을 할 수 있을 것 같아요.
So when you look at these traditional things that we get inspirations, the things that we draw inspirations from, these are all traditional things, and usually it has the characteristic have a lot of details, and it's very dainty and has so many details. But the uniqueness of this OR's design is that we selectively we select what to be emphasized and then more brought out. So from the details, we emphasize some other details to make it more prominent, and some are eliminated or more simplified so that it can be more modern. And I believe that's one of the most unique traits of our brand as a unique design brand.
To the next page, please. 그래서 네, 아까 본 패턴 그 작업들을 바탕으로 이제 한국적인 오간색이라고 하거나 오방색이라고 저희가 표현을 하는데 한국의 5가지 컬러와 그다음에 그 5가지 사이에 있는 것들을 오간색이라고 표현을 해요. 그래서 저희는 오방색과 오간색을 많이 활용해서 해당 패턴의 다양한 컬러 조합을 통해서 저희만의 패턴을 또 다시 만들고 있어요.
So it's the inspirations and designs are based on these referenced Korean traditional materials and things and architecture and everything, but also we use 5 directional colors. That's like a traditional colors that are often used in Korean culture and design and beautiful things, but then actually there are in-between colors. So that is directly translated 5 in-between colors as well. So using those different colors and using these, emphasized and simplified design, many of the OUWR designs are created based on that.
저희는 좀 모던하고 굉장히 지오메트릭한 패턴을 많이 만드는 편이고 이렇게 만들어지는 패턴들이 다음 페이지에 보시면 저희가 그 한복 저희만의 이제 화보 컬렉션들을 계속 만들면서 또 다시 저희가 디자인하는 의상들의 패턴을 또 같이 접목을 시키고 있어요.
So as you see, we design many of the modern and geometric designs, and you will see, as you see on this page right now, we're creating a lot of like Hanbok lookbook collections. So these are actually cross inspire the lookbook collection itself, and also that also re-inspire the next designs that we're going to come up with.
요 컬렉션 부분은 조금 빠르게 같이 넘어가려고 하는데 이제 보시는 것은 이번에 SS 룩북으로 저희가 만들었던 어프리시티라는 이 컬렉션이었고 요거는 이제 저희가 이제 봄, 여름의 감성을 이번 컬렉션에 담아서 보여드렸던 부분이어서 한국적인 요소가 있대 좀 현대적으로 스타일링하고 좀 재해석한 컬렉션입니다.
So next few slides, we're going to move along a little bit faster and then just take a look at the SS23 collection. Of course, this is we wanted to interpret and show the beauty of like spring and summer, and then this is based on the hanbok design, but then we modernized it and simplified it by restyling and reinterpreting these designs. And this is what you're looking at right now.
So the next one is 23 FW lookbook. We wanted to design more like modern style so people can easily wear on their daily clothing styles. So as you can see, you can style with the like jeans or just the t-shirts. We also designed long dresses or the skirt type so people can like easily wear in their daily lives. So these were our like the recent lookbook collection works. And if we skip to the next page and the next page too. So this is, I'll just, briefly talk about the collections in English because this is going to be like very short part.
Okay.
This is last year's Vietnam photo shoot. We also designed and styled with the jeans, jeogori, which is Korean type of top, and the slip dresses. So it gives you very like traditional mood, but also very modernized mood. This is also inspired by jeogori, which is a jeogori, and also the part of 동정, we call it 동정 and kid, which is comparing to the shirts, like the collar part. So inspired by Korean, the hanbok element, we designed to more like modern style of dress. And the next one. So this is our last year's 22 SS lookbook. This was inspired by flowers and the bloom, it's called bright bloom. So inspired by flowers and the bloom of the flowers, we wanted to create very like sort of feminine, but also very like 소녀스럽다라는 어떤 이미지? How do I say that?
The innocent young girls image, like it's
So that's also the theme of this collection. 계속 so on to the next page. 네. 같이 네. So this was our first collection, 21 FW lookbook. It's called Scene Stealer Collection. We wanted to highlight the hidden elements of hanbok. So we used 속치마, which is the skirt that you wear under the skirt, so nobody can see that type of skirt. So scene stealer means like it's not a main character, but who actually highlights the main character in the drama. So that kind of theme we apply to this collection. So like 속치마, which is the underskirt, or 속바지, which is like your underwear pants. We kind of pull out those elements of hanbok and made to our collections. So 이런 한복 작업들을 통해서 저희는 이제 저희만의 컨텐츠를 계속 쌓아가고 좀 새로운 한복의 시도를 보여줄 수 있는 컬렉션들을 되게 많이 보여줬었던 것 같아요.
So through these hanbok collections, we wanted to show our new fresh reinterpretation of the hanbok design and a new fresh aspect through these hanbok collections.
첫 번째로 얘기하고 싶었던 거는 자기 브랜드만의 독창성과 아이덴티티를 확실하게 보여줄 수 있는 그런 컨텐츠를 계속해서 고민하고 또 고민한 것들을 바탕으로 브랜드에 잘 녹여내야 되는 게 되게 중요한 것 같아요. 왜냐면 그런 부분들이 결국에는 내가 좀 더 이렇게 현실 세계에 나왔을 때 다른 브랜드와 경쟁해서 내가 가질 수 있는 나만의 특징이고 나만의 강점이 돼야 되는데 그런 강점이 없으면 사실 브랜드로서 살아남기가 되게 힘들더라고요. 특히 패션이나 이런 트렌드를 빨리 파악해야 하는 그런 곳들에서는 자기만의 아이덴티티가 굉장히 중요하기 때문에 그런 것들을 계속해서 구축해 나가는 게 되게 중요한 것 같아요.
And first of all, I like to emphasize that in order to have your own design brand and your own visions of your own brand and value, identifying it and establishing it. And in order to do that, you have to constantly think about that. And then you have to always keep that in your mind and then always find the new way how to establish and distinguish my brand from other brands, because it's literally your inner strength. It's going to be your inner core that makes you survive in the real world, because especially we're talking about this fashion designs and trends, fast facing this industries. And without that, without your very concrete understanding and establishment of your own value and design, you cannot survive in this. It's very difficult to survive in the real world because from the competitions with our brand. So you just have to keep thinking about what is my brand, what I'm looking to manifest through this brand. That is very, very important, I think.
두 번째로 제가 좀 같이 말하고 싶은 부분은 계속해서 자기가 자기만의 브랜드의 어떤 아이덴티티를 만들어 나간다면 이제 그게 자기 안에서만 머무르는 게 아니고 그 외적으로 계속해서 더 많은 다양한 나만의 자산을 계속해서 만들어 나가는 게 되게 중요해요. 그 자산이 뭐 프로젝트일 수도 있고 어떤 콜라보레이션일 수도 있고 뭐 유명한 분에게 협찬을 해주는 걸 수도 있고 심지어는 그냥 customer experiences, user experiences도 굉장히 중요한 자산이 돼요. 그런 것들이 하나하나씩 다 모이면 브랜드로서 되게 더 강해지는 효과가 많이 나타나거든요.
So let's say you have this very solid, concrete identity of your own brand, but keeping it just to yourself and then keeping it inside does not work as powerfully. You just have to keep reaching out and then externalize these ideas and identities and keep building up your own assets as a brand. So it could be either different projects, different portfolios, and it could be you can collaboration and you can work with celebrities, and it could be anything. But if you keep building these actual assets as an experience, as a brand in the real world, that's going to create the strength for your own identity and brand, and you're going to get stronger from there.
여기서부터도 이제 저희가 작업했던 것들을 좀 빠르게 보여드릴 텐데, 요거는 많은 분들이 아셨던 것처럼 저희가 올해 초에 이제 블랙핑크가 코첼라 무대에서 입었던 한복 의상을 작업을 했었고, 요거는 천릭이라고 하는 한복 아우터를 영감을 받아서, 천릭은 무사가 많이 입던 한복이거든요. 그래서 활동이 많고 굉장히 걸크러쉬 같은 모습을 보여주는 아이돌이기 때문에 그런 의미를 가진 한복을 저희가 고르게 됐고, 또 전통적인 수가 놓여 있기도 하고, 또 저희가 디자인했던 패턴이 같이 결합이 되면서 뭔가 전통과 현대의 조화를 같이 보여줄 수 있는 좀 되게 멋진 작업을 만들어 보자라는 의미로 작업을 하게 됐었어요.
So as you look at the screen, many of you are probably familiar with this. This is collaboration with Blackpink. We designed the Coachella stage costume for this Blackpink. And the design is based on the traditional Korean outerwear called cholik, and traditionally it was worn by warriors. So it was designed for a lot of movement, and this Blackpink group has image of like a girl crush and girl power. So I thought it was very good match up, like the Charlie design. And also, if you look at the patterns, it has both the traditional patterns, also the unique designs designed by OUWR. So by doing that, we wanted to show the reinterpretation and collaborations between the traditional patterns and modernness.
이제 다음은 조금 빠르게 더 넘어가면 이것도 최근에 저희가 그 제네시스 코리아와 작업을 했던 작업물이고 이 안에서는 새로 나오는 차에서 영감을 받아서 이제 한국적인 패턴을 만들고 그거를 이제 한복 의상에 넣으면서 이 의상을 이제 그 커머셜 영상에 같이 작업을 하게 됐었어요. 그래서 요런 다양한 브랜드와 단지 이렇게 의상 작업 아니면 뭐 한국 작업 이런 것뿐만 아니고 되게 현대적인 것을 한국적으로 재해석하는 그런 작업들도 저희가 좀 많이 고민을 했었고
So next one is more recent project. We collaborated with Genesis Korea. So we had inspiration from the new car design, the new lines, birth of the new lines, and then we collaborated and then it was included in their commercial work, and as you see it was included in their video as well, and the patterns also included in the design of the hanbok. But it's not just we draw inspiration from the clothing itself, but then we collaborated with different line of business and fashion design work, and we wanted to show the Korean traditional reinterpreted in the modern way best possible.
다음 것들은 이제 저희가 계속 작업했던 것들인데 이런 거 그냥 빠르게 넘어가도록 할게요.
So I'll just flip through next couple of slides, and then these are other projects and collaborations that we have done recently.
그래서 콜라보 프로젝트뿐만 아니고 패션쇼 작업이나 뭐 아티스트 작업들, 아티스트 무대 의상 작업들도 계속 꾸준히 저희가 진행을 했었어요.
Not only the collaborations, but we were diligent in working with fashion shows and artistic design, stage costumes and stage designs as well.
그리고 좀 저는 되게 중요하게 생각했던 것 중에 하나가 customer experiences. 왜냐면 사실 많은 분들이 일반 분들이 저희의 작품을 많이 보시기 때문에 접근성이 되게 떨어지게 느껴지실 수도 있어요. 그래서 저희의 한복이 실질적으로는 일반 소비자들, 고객들, 커스터머한테 어떻게 작용이 되고 또 그들이 어떻게 우리의 것들을 소화하는지 그런 거를 저희도 알고 좀 쌓아가는 게 되게 필요했던 작업들이었어서 이제 그런 것들도 저는 되게 중요한 자산 중에 하나라고 생각을 했어요.
And one other asset that I think is very important is customer experience. So we're talking about reinterpretation and redesigning of hanbok, and because it's a traditional attire, from the point of view of the regular customer, regular fashion consumers, the accessibility might not be as high. So we wanted to gather information, and we wanted to learn from the unique customer experience, and that will be another type of assets that we can draw inspirations from, where we can grow from. So it was very important asset of the brand as well.
다음 걸 넘어가기 전에 조금 한 가지를 좀 말하고 싶었던 것 중에 하나가 저도 처음에 브랜드를 시작할 때 과연 우리가 다른 곳들과 콜라보를 할 수 있을까? 우리가 프로젝트 제안을 받을 수 있을까? 그러니까 우리의 컨텐츠는 너무 좋고 우리가 우리만의 독창성은 계속 잘 만들어 가는데 이게 그냥 우리 안에서 그치는 건 아닐까 하는 되게 걱정이 되게 많았어요. 근데 우리가 다른 곳에 컨택을 하자니 우리가 너무 작은 브랜드라서 과연 그들이 오케이를 해 줄까? 이런 걱정과 고민들이 되게 많았는데 그러다 보니까 그냥 작은 일부터 계속 하나하나씩 쌓아갔던 것 같아요. 저희가 처음부터 큰 어떤 기업이나 큰 뭐 아티스트나 그런 분들이랑 작업을 한 건 전혀 아니었거든요. 그래서 저는 차근차근히 이제 내가 원하는 목표에 도달할 때까지 다양한 것들을 계속 쌓아나가는 그런 인내의 시간이 되게 필요하다고 좀 생각이 들어요.
One other important thing I would like to point out is that as these assets continue to accumulate, and it seems more work can be done. But when I first started my brand, I really liked the content. I thought it was great. It was our own work, and then but I wondered, I had my doubts, like would they ask for a collaboration with us? I mean, should I request a collaboration? Would they recognize us a very small brand and then they're going to reject or disregard our request? So there can be many worries and concerns about all this. But looking back now, when I think about it, and then some time has passed, and then my experience was that you just have to start from the small things, and there should be some time for endurance and perseverance, and slowly proceed and present a small task one by one. And at some point, you will get to the large work and projects, and you just have to be patient and keep trying, and small projects, do whatever you can.
그리고 또 한 가지 또 추천을 하고 싶은 거는 사실 제가 학교를 다니면서 제일 아쉬웠던 것 중에 하나가 다른 전공 친구들이랑 이렇게 같이 작업을 해볼 수 있는 기회가 많이 없었어요. 그래서 저는 좀 뭐 다른 뭐 포토그래피 그 사진과 친구들이라든지 아니면 뭐 다양한 뭐 세라믹 친구들이라든지 회화 친구들이라든지 다양한 전공들이 모여서 재미있는 프로젝트를 만드는 것도 내가 계속해서 그 포트폴리오나 나만의 자산을 쌓아가는 데 되게 중요한 것 같고, 또 그런 것들이 또 하나의 네트워크가 돼서 졸업을 했을 때에도 실질적으로 브랜드 일을 하거나 할 때 그런 네트워킹이 또다시 나만의 되게 좋은 자산이 되면서 그게 나 커리어에 또 많은 도움이 되는 것 같아요. 그래서 저는 그런 일들을 또 SAIC 안에서 되게 잘 이뤄냈으면 좋겠어요. 제가 이제 막 하지 못했던 부분 중에 하나였어서.
So another thing that I like to point out is that when I was in school, looking back at my school years, I wish that I had more chances, with collaborations with other students in other, majors, such as photography, ceramic majors, or fine art, design majors, illustrator, 3D artist. Different students in a different field, and I didn't get many chance, so I wish I had more collaborations with them, and then had more fun, interesting projects in collaboration with them. So I would recommend or suggest look for those collaborating ways for you to work with these different type of students, because it's going to open different perspectives for you, and then it's going to create your own network. So that's going to enrich and help out your career once you're out in the real world, and pave your way into the real brand and your own brand and designing work. So I think it's going to create more opportunities to various projects together. So in preparation for the brand as well.
그리고 이제 마지막으로는 이 앞에 두 가지의 어떤 솔루션이 잘 진행이 되고 있다면, 우리 다시 한번 브랜드로서 고민해야 되는 것 중에 하나가 사실은 그 commercialize 하는 거, industrialize 하는 거, 사실 그게 굉장히 중요한 부분이에요. 브랜드와 작가의 가장 큰 차이는 이 만들어진 되게 너무 예쁜 창작물을 브랜드는 이런 것들 더 좋은 의미로 상업화를 하는 일을 해야 하기 때문에 그런 모델을 잘 만드는 게 되게 중요하고, 그러려면 사실 스타트업이거나 졸업한 지 얼마 안 됐을 때는 그런 것들을 어떻게 상업해야 하는지가 되게 어려운데, 그렇기 때문에 이제 좋은 비즈니스 모델을 잘 선정하는 게 되게 중요해요.
So if you think that you're actually that the other two that I previously mentioned, if these two are going very well, the last thing that you have to consider and you have to give it some thought is commercializing and industrializing your own brand. So there is a difference between an artist and a designing fashion brand. So you just have to make it commercialized and industrialize these beautiful designed object into commercialized form so that it could have a bigger meanings. And the biggest difference between an artist and brand is whether I can commercialize my design or not. So especially in the beginning, it's very difficult to find directions for the startup brand. But so you just need to find a role model and a business model that you can take things after, so the model has achieved good commercial results, and so where my content can be also successful.
그래서 저는 이제 뭐 앞에 보여줬던 것처럼 저희의 어떤 브랜드 비즈니스 모델은 마리메코라든지 이제 뭐 버버리 같이 자기만의 패턴을 만드는 브랜드가 어떻게 그것들을 상품화하고 또 대중들한테 선보이는지, 저는 이런 것들을 되게 중점적으로 비즈니스 모델을 많이 선정을 했었는데, 이런 것들이 저의 가이드라인이 되면서 되게 좋은 롤 모델이 돼요. 그래서 제가 브랜드를 만들어 갈 때 내가 어떻게 앞으로 또 더 나아가야 되지? 고민이 될 때 좋은 가이드라인이 있으면 그거를 따라하라는 거는 아닌데, 내가 길을 잃었을 때 좋은 제시 방향을 해줄 수 있는 모델이거든요. 그리고 그들도 저와 똑같은 길을 걸어왔던 브랜드이기 때문에 그런 좋은 롤모델을 선정해서 내 브랜드를 계속해서 키워나가는 게 되게 중요한 부분인 것 같아요.
So for example, for OUWR and my brand, for example, Marimekko and Burberry were two role models for me. I'm not saying that you have to imitate or mimic what they do, but these two brands in particular provided a very good guidelines for me and for my own brand, because they have their own pattern design and they pave their ways into this fashion world by doing that. So again, I'm not saying that you have to mimic or imitate what they did, but when I feel lost, when my brand I feel like it needs guidance. So these two brands have become a good guideline and guidance for me and my brand. So you need to find established brands that have like a similar ways of establishment or the design patterns or the direction or the vision, and find your way and have a role model. I think that's very important.
일단 넘어가 주시면은 일단 20분이 넘는 시간이긴 했는데, 이제 짧은 시간 안에 어떻게 브랜드를 만들어 갈 수 있을지, 그리고 어떻게 조금 더 성공적으로 만들어 나가는 길을 우리가 알아볼 수 있는지에 대해서 조금 얘기를 나눴는데, 도움이 됐으면 좋겠고, 또 이 얘기를 들으면서 궁금한 부분이 있으면 편하게 퀘스천 주는 타임을 가지면 좋을 것 같습니다.
So it took a little bit more than 20 minutes with a consecutive interpretation, of course, but I hope that this presentation was helpful to you, and hope that I could share my insights regarding how to build your own brand in the real world and be successful doing that. So please feel free to let me know if you have any questions, any comments regarding the presentation. I would happy to take your questions and answer in the best way I can.
Sounds like we have Chairman Kim already raised their hands. I'm going to ask them to unmute. Chairman?
Hi, should I question with English or Korean?
You can speak in English, yes.
Okay. Thank you for today's your talk. It was really good. And actually I'm preparing for the making brand, which is not fashion, but like object. And I just wanted to ask you, how did you gather your colleagues?
Oh, my teammates?
Mm-hmm.
It's really that's really very hard question.
Oh,
I'll just
sorry.
no, it's fine. I'll just speak it in Korean.
Yep.
사실 좋은 팀메이트를 고른다는 거는, 그러니까 만난다는 게 굉장히 어려운 일인데, 사실은 저는 처음일수록 가까운 사이에서 많이 찾았었어요. 그래서 사실은 지금 같이 저까지 포함해서 총 3명의 팀이 있고요. 이 3명의 팀이 거의 2년 정도를 같이 계속해서 일을 하고 있는 친구들인데, 한 명은 제 커즌이고요. 한 명은 제가 이렇게 같은 어떤 분야를 공부하면서 만나게 된 지인분이에요. 어떤 지인인데 그 전까지 저희가 인터뷰도 한번 제가 이렇게 면접도 계속 해봤었고 좋은 팀을 하기 위해서 되게 많은 시도를 했는데 결국에는 내 마음이랑 같은 사람을 만나는 게 사실 제일 중요하더라고요. 그래서 저는 그 팀메이트를 찾는 분들한테 나 그냥 그 공고를 한번 내보려고 구인 한번 해보려고 이렇게 얘기를 했는데 많이 할 때마다 사실 특히 초반에 브랜드를 만들 땐 조금 더 나의 생각과 같은 생각을 하는 친구들을 만나는 게 되게 중요하고 그게 시간이 조금 걸리더라도 그런 친구들을 만나는 게 되게 중요해요. 왜냐면 아까 말한 것처럼 내 브랜드의 아이덴티티랑 내 브랜드의 밸류를 만들어 나가야 하는 가장 초반의 시간인데 그게 아무나랑은 사실 할 수 없는 일이기 때문에 저는 충분한 어떤 이야기를 할 수 있는 좋은 친구들을 먼저 알고 컨택하고 그리고 또 그만큼 내 자신이 그 사람한테 마음이 많이 열려 있어야 하긴 해요. 저도 굉장히 많이 어려웠었거든요. 처음에 좋은 사람을 만나는 것에 대해서. 그래서
So looks like Chairman already understands what was spoken, but for non-Korean speakers, I will provide interpretation. So it's actually very hard questions. It's difficult thing to do, meeting and gathering good teammates. And I can just only speak from my own experience, and then for myself, I found and sought for good teammates from the people who are close. So currently in our company, including myself, there are 3 team mates. So one of them is actually my cousin, and the other one is my acquaintance, my friends that I met when I was studying and learning from the same field. So I met this person when I was learning and studying, and with this team mates, colleagues, I have worked more than 2 years so far, and I don't think this is the answer for everybody, of course not, but then I actually try to put out public advertisement to hire people. I have conducted so many different interviews, but it was always difficult to find someone who has a kindred spirit. So as a young brand, as a new startup brand, I think it's very important to find a teammate who you're familiar with and you have the kindred spirits with them, and then you can have internal, very close talk. Because in order to manifest and visualize your own vision as a brand, you need to have this kind of conversations, and you need to be able to open yourself to these teammates and work together and collaborate, and then only good things can come from there. So as a startup brand, and based on my own experience, I think it is very, very important to find close people you can have a real talk, real internal talks, and have like same spirits as you do. I think it's quite important, and then keep looking for those good people, close people. That will be my advice.
And also, I just want to add one thing. Because you're making your own brand, you have to also make your people understand what you are doing, because you have to make your audience or your customer understanding what you do, and you have to actually like sell your products to people. So one thing that CEO have to have is that you have to persuade and make people understand what you do. And the very first step is you have to make your teammate understand what you do. So I think that's very, very important thing. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
very
for your
much.
response.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chairman, for your wonderful question. So we have about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to pick one person who put it into chat. So Lawrence Pearson asked, Ha Eun, when you collaborate with photographers, what qualities or styles do you look for in their portfolios that make them stand out to you?
Oh, that's really hard question. There are so many good photographers who do so many perfect, like wonderful works. But for me, the first thing is that because we are a fashion brand, we need to show our garments and our items. So I try to choose the photographer who shows the costume very well, like Hanbok very well. So for me, that's the main part. I would say maybe other designers, maybe who designs like who makes the ceramics or who make the products, maybe their the first like thoughts to choose the photographer will be, they need to, I want to find the photographer who perfectly captures my artwork. So that's, I think every designer's thought is same, I guess. So for me, people who captures the garment very well is the first thing that I choose. Or if there are a lot of photographers in for us, I just, with my teammates, the main thing is, who captures the hanbok the most? Oh, the best. So that's our like the first thing. And also the photographer who has their style, that's also very important. As I said earlier, for me, the personal like 독창 uniqueness or the photographer's value is very important for me. So I think the style, I'm sorry, 사진 작가의 되게 그 사람만이 가지고 있는 독창성, 그리고 그 사람만이 표현하는 능력, 그게 좀 되게 중요한 것 같아요, 저한테.
So on top of the things that I already mentioned, I also think it's very important for me to see the unique quality as a photographer or a photographic artist. And I need to see that from the portfolio. So that is the thing that stands out most on top of the thing that I mentioned, that who shows the fabrics or the garments, hanbok, the best, but I need to also see the uniqueness of that artist as well.
Thank you for the second question. So just wanted to remind everybody, we are running a little bit short, but I was wondering if everybody is willing to stay here for 10 more minutes so that we can go through at least a few more questions. Awesome. Thank you so much, Lena. Appreciate you. So the second question, I'm actually going to read one question from the next question that came up on the chat. Ankita Agrawal asked, would you be open to collaborating with possible art directors and graphic designers for your brand?
아트 디렉터나 그래픽 디자이너랑 오우르 브랜드랑 같이 협업하실 계획이 있으신가요?
사실은 그래픽 디자이너나 뭐 포토그래퍼나 되게 많은 뭐 3D 아티스트나 사실 저희는 굉장히 많이 찾고 있고, 요즘 트렌드가 그냥 단순히 화보만 보여주고 의상만 보여주고 컬렉션만 보여주는 게 아니기 때문에 저희는 계속해서 그렇기도 할 거지만 다양한 분야의 전문가들이랑 같이 컬렉션을 만들고 콜라보레이션을 하는 거에 되게 오픈되어 있고 사실 앞으로의 프로젝트들 중에서는 그런 것들을 많이 좀 열려 있게 바라보고 있어요.
Yes, the answer is yes. We're always looking for a different type of designers, art directors, graphic designer, 3D designer, because the current trend is not just about showing lookbooks or collections and showcasing the garments or the clothing. Nowadays, people look for multidimensional experience and very unique, immersive experience as well. So we're always open to collaborating with different type of artists and experts in different fields, and that is also our brand's OUWR's future direction, and we're going towards that. So the answer is yes.
Wonderful. I saw some few folks lined up for hand raise. And now I don't see that anymore. So I'm going to continue reading the next question. Millie Mac. Hi, I have a question. Do you have an agent to help with building client base and pitch your collection to collab opportunity?
Actually, no, I don't have an agent. And what I really have done is just marketing on Instagram or using Facebook, or just tell other people, like people I know, that I opened my new brand, and if you have any friends who are looking for or looking to collaborate, or who needs costume to wear in like various circumstances or opportunity, please tell them. I'm very open to that. So that kind of work was what I did in the earlier
Stage, yeah.
time. And yeah, that's actually what I've done. But
Wonderful.
also one thing, that my mom is actually a Hanbok designer. She has her own brand for 30 years. So this is her 30th anniversary of her Hanbok brand. So I also work with my mom a lot. And that kind of experience, because she has a lot of like old senior members who are in Hanbok field in Hanbok area. So I met a lot of 선생님. I met a lot of
Mentors
and asked them, "Oh, I'm newbie. I need some help. If you know anyone close to you, just and who needs not traditional Hanbok, but who needs very modernized Hanbok, just please, can you introduce them to me?" That kind of work was what I did.
Wonderful, thank you. So next is Michelle Sotano.
Hi, thank you so much for the informational talk. It's been so helpful. Yeah, so like I was just wondering like what it's like, your journey, like transitioning from being an artist to being a CEO. And like it seems like from the talk, it's like were you able to learn marketing and art directing aspect from school, or like did you develop these skills like outside? And yeah, also like, are you planning on expanding your brand beyond the realm of fashion too? Yeah.
Was your question about the marketing part, right? Was that?
Yeah, I was thinking like when it comes to marketing, did you like handle it all on your own, or like when you first started, and the art direction? Yeah, like how did you like start like in that aspect? Yeah.
So the marketing part, I think I learned by myself, but I think the marketing is connected to the branding. And for me, I was very 브랜딩에 굉장히 관심이 많았었어요. 패션을 할 때에도. 그래서 브랜딩을 하면서 내가 하는 브랜딩이 어떻게 마케팅이랑 연결이 될 수 있는가에 대한 고민을 되게 많이 했었고, 사실은 제가 학교에서 더 많이 배웠던 거는 어떻게 좋은 아티스트가 될 수 있는가? 나만의 작품을 어떻게 잘 만들 수 있는가에 대해서 좀 더 중점적으로 배웠던 것 같고, 마케팅이나 브랜딩 같은 것들은 제가 그 밖에서 더 많이 배웠어요, 사실은. 이거는 어쩔 수 없는 어떤 real world와 학교와 또 마케팅의 차이인 것 같은데, 저는 그렇게 좀 많이 공부를 했었고, 네, 그랬던 것 같아요.
So, even when I was a student, I have been always interested in branding and marketing. I had put a lot of thoughts into that, and then I was thinking about what is the connecting link, what is the connection between branding and marketing. And I have to say that when I was in school, I learned how to become a better artist, how to visualize my vision in the form of the artistic piece that I created. So I learned that aspect when I was in school, but other things like marketings and branding, and because there is inevitable gaps between the real world and school and this, design and branding and marketing, there is a gap like you have to overcome at some point. And then in that aspect, I learned it myself, I educated myself, but so you just have to find the link and then, the connection between, but not everything can be done in one space, but you just have to keep thinking about it and then learn from your own experience and build from there.
Oh, and to add one thing, I would recommend to read a lot of interviews or like articles from other like CEO or other brands directors. So for me, I read a lot of Korean CEOs in who has their own fashion brand, because I studied and I worked all my years in States. So I had really a lack of information of Korean brands or Korean CEOs, especially in fashion field. So when I came to Korea, I looked up a lot of articles, looked up a lot of interviews, how they made their own brands, how they did their marketing, how they did their branding. So I think it's really important to know, and if you're gonna do your brand in States, I would recommend good CEOs articles and interviews from States. If you're thinking of going back to your country and open your brand, I would recommend reading a lot of interviews and a lot of articles from them. Yeah.
Thank you. We'll probably have time for one more question. So I would have to randomly choose one. And this actually person has two questions. Sophie Rogowi has two questions. So first question is it possible to start your own clothing brand in Korea as a foreigner? Second question is, what was the most challenging part about starting your own clothing brand?
The first question, I would say it's a little bit easier compared to States. Because of the visa issue, I'm not sure, but I heard that there is more good foreigner visa in Korea, I guess. I'm not sure, so I have to check it out, but I would say yes. It's not impossible. There is a way to start your own brand in Korea. So unless the visa issue is not a problem. Yeah. And the second question, the most challenging part is since I am a CEO, I have to work a lot of different things. For example, designing is very fun thing, but then I have to think about the 매출. I have to think about customer experiences. CS, I have to think about the marketing part, the income part, 우리가 돈을 어떻게 쓰고 있는지, also like the teammates issues, like just everything except from design. It's all challenging for
So
me.
basically that was done in English, but then the Miss Chung was saying that you as a CEO you have to think about the multiple different things like a revenue, customer experience, customer service, and expenses, how we're actually utilizing this assets to make the brand profitable, and then the relationship between the teammates, and basically CEO has to oversee a lot of different things, not just about design.
So I would say, yeah, that's if you are gonna do your own brand, there is things that you don't want to do, but you have to do. And that's the most challenging part for me.
Wonderful. It's about time. It's 12:25, and I want to thank you everybody for joining this wonderful session. I would like to especially thanks to Ha Eun for her time, and she's right now in Korea, so it's probably 2-3 a.m. right now in Korean time. So I really appreciate you, and I would love to extend the full thank you from the SAIC on behalf of CAPX team. And also, it's really wonderful to see you coming back as an alum and giving back to SAIC. And I just wanted to briefly say that Ha Eun was also a former member of Duckies. I know that there are many of the Duckies members here. Duckies is the Korean and global pop dance group at SAIC. So I'd love to mention that. And I also like to say thank you so much for Lena Lee for your wonderful translation service. And we haven't done this, actually, this is our first time hiring a professional translator like you. And I'm so glad that it went super smoothly, and I appreciate all of your services and attention and sophisticated translation service today. And
Well, thank you so much for having me, and it was a wonderful, memorable experience for me. I do this a lot, but it's one of the best. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Helen, do you have any last comment to say thank you to all?
Yeah, I just left my email address at the chat room. So if I see some of other questions, but that I couldn't answer, but if there is a student who wants to hear from me more, just email me. I'm very open to answer your question, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't. So yeah, and thank you for me to. Thank you, Youngsu teacher, to give that you give me an opportunity to speak in front of the wonderful students here. I had a lot of like doubt and a lot of what is 걱정 in English? I just forgot.
Like worried,
Worries.
anxiety.
Yeah. During my year in SAIC, even though it was so great, so I think the CAPX right now is doing so well compared to my so
Thank you.
I think if you guys have any questions in your careers way, I think it's better to just like reach out to CAPX office and ask a lot of questions, or that's what I thought. And thank you.
Thank you.
Here.
It's so nice of you to mention CAPX team as well. And I also want to say thank you to all CAPX team for supporting behind the scene. And as Ha Eun mentioned, that we are always open to any questions, and we're here to support all of SAIC students. And just to let you know that we provide lifelong services to all alumni. So please keep that in mind, and don't feel a stranger to come back. And if you like to also come back as an employer, just like Ha Eun, to give back, please let us know. Or if you're in the process of changing or pivoting your career path, also knock on the door. We're always here for you. I'd like to just ask all of you, all of the students to unmute for a second to say thank you and goodbye to Ha Eun and Lena today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Amazing
Thank you.
presentation.
Very
Thank you.
informative.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for everybody to joining this wonderful session. Alrighty, so we'll be recording this so that if you would like to access, just let us know. But I would like to say goodbye to everybody. Thank you all.